and we are live here today with
Hell
one
yeah.
of my favorite people around the scene, and he's honestly one of my favorite creatives in probably the entirety of my life. Just how he creates ideas and how he goes about creating his music. It's very, very inspiring. And so here's Krystian. Krystian is the vocalist of Despised Mourning. He's going to be talking with us today about all things Despised Mourning and more. And we are here in Springfield, Illinois, coming to you live. And Krystian, take it away. Introduce yourself.
What's up, guys? I'm Krystian. I'm the vocalist for Despised Mourning. I've been doing vocals for about 10 years or so at this point. Primarily black and death metal, but I kind of branch into a little bit of everything.
Heck yeah.
I've been doing this shit for a while.
That's something I see pretty often between guys that have gotten really good at this, is that it tends to come from having a lot of experience throughout all of the genres and throughout all of the different artistic worlds to be able to get really good at what you want to do. Not just mimic things here and there, but eventually grow into you and become what artist you want to be. And so,
Oh yeah,
Krystian, in
that's
regards
always
to,
big.
yeah, and in regards to that, what's been the journey like for you to get to where you are now artistically?
Um, I mean, it started off kind of young. My stepdad was a drummer for a black metal band called Blackstorm that was out in Arizona.
Oh
So like
yeah.
I started super fucking young and I just kind of watched and observed a lot, and then like I hit high school and like had a whole bunch of shit happen because I was a dumb kid
Mhm.
and like wound up in Quincy and
Yeah, it
basically
tends
like
to be.
tried to get a whole bunch of friends together to start making music, and I mean it kind of worked. We were like some shitty fucking screamo band. It was
Hell
fun.
yeah.
Like we still my old drummer particularly will still message me every now and again whenever like photos from old shows and stuff like that pop up on Facebook memories, and we'll kind of
Man,
reminisce about it.
that's awesome. You definitely got to start somewhere, and that is huge across the board for whatever you do. You're not always going to be amazing at it, but if you want it bad enough, you can get to that point. You can get to the point where everything is muscle memory, and it's literally like you've been doing this your whole life. It takes a lot
Yep.
of practice, a lot of grit, a lot of perseverance. And that's really, I think perseverance is probably one of the biggest things that when I think about Despise Morning, that's really it. Because the band as a whole, from what I understand, has had a good amount of tribulations to deal with to
Oh
continue
yeah.
getting to the point where it is now, as fantastic as it is. What's that
It
been like?
it's honestly it's nuts because like it's been nonstop. I swear to God, there are times I think the band is cursed. Like when everything was first getting started, I had a lung collapse and I ended up needing surgery. It put the band down for like 6 months,
Ouch.
and then fucking as soon as I'm better, then our at the time drummer wound up getting hit with like a ton of fucking work. So that put him down for a little while. We managed to get like a year where everything went smoothly. And
Nice.
then we had a guitar player quit right before a show over
Ouch.
basically like not wanting to kind of like, because we have like this established look. And that became like this big bitching point between me and him for a bit because he wanted to just go up in like jeans and t-shirts, and I was trying to get everybody more into this like black metal look.
Hmm.
So then he quit, and we moved my bass player up to guitar. Corey, man, my bass player, I love this kid. He has literally been everything in the band but me at this point.
Wow. And so that is, just go through all of your different members of the band, please, for the listeners.
um, so when Despised was formed, it was me, Jimmy, Zach, and Corey. Corey on bass, Zach on lead guitar, Jimmy on drums, me on vocals. So then Zach quits. We moved Corey to lead guitar, hired an old friend of mine for rhythm guitar, and an old friend of mine named Nate, and then Augur on bass. That lineup
Nice.
maintained for about another year, and then with it, then like right before, like right around the same time that COVID hit, Nathan died. He drank himself to death,
Wow.
and then we fired Jimmy because like we were supposed to be playing this. We were supposed to be like doing a micro tour with Mushroom Head. Another friend of mine named Jacob was setting it up for us, and Jimmy just absolutely refused to take a week off work for us to do this.
Wow.
So we were like, well, if you're gonna turn around and like dick us over like that, man, bye.
Mhm. And
So
so
past
the lineup currently, what's that like?
right now it's me, Corey, Travis, who used to drum for Dr. Dick Ramirez, Josh, who
Nice.
is our lead guitar player. He's mostly done covers. He plays with like the Trans-Siberian Orchestra cover band and plays with a couple local cover bands. Dude's extremely talented and
Hell yeah.
just I would argue that he's one of the best guitar players in our area. So really happy to work with him. He's
That's awesome, man. You guys are definitely an incredibly talented bunch, and seeing you guys live, it's very, very noticeable quickly. And that's not even to touch on the fact that your live show as a whole is incredibly fucking awesome. I mean, everything is just outstanding. And so I really want to move to just talking about what it's like to have to share a member with another band. What's that like?
honestly around here it's pretty common actually. Most of the guys in Despised are also in a hardcore punk band that is kind of putting some shit together. It's just a
Wow.
matter of balancing time. Like Google calendars, man. It's like being in a poly relationship or some shit.
Nice.
Like
That's a
just
really really good little snippet into what it's like to have to share band members between your groups. And
yeah.
sometimes it's just for everybody to know. One of the hardest things to do with bands or getting a group of people together is obviously getting everybody there.
Oh
So
yeah, dude,
not only
scheduling's a nightmare.
yeah, and then having to include that with them sharing their time with another band or multiple bands, I can't imagine how difficult that must be. So kudos to all of the bands that end up having to do that and suck it up and just do it because you guys fucking rock, man. Let me just say that. So really, I wanted to talk about the main thing with with Despised Mourning, which is your more recent work leading into your current. I believe you guys are still recording or
Yeah,
mastering.
it we're still recording. We've been sitting on having one bass track left to record. That's literally it. But
Wow.
our buddy Ian, who's our producer, he's also like the manager at at the local Five Below. And then our bass player, who's like I swear to God the most accent prone human being on the planet. Like when I said that we deal with shit, we deal with shit.
Yeah.
Like he ended up yeah, I'm not gonna get too far into it,
No,
but
definitely don't.
Corey's been getting slammed with like a lot of overtime at work and then like recovering from injuries and shit like
Hmm.
that. So like for a bit he hasn't even been able to come to practice because he's been that slammed with stuff to do. So
Yeah, I
like
can
I've
definitely
been trying to
understand
help
that.
him get his stuff together in order to be able to have enough time to even be able to show up.
Well, everybody going through a similar situation of being so busy with your time, there's definitely always a silver lining to doing what you're doing. Always
Oh
keep
yeah,
that in
100%.
mind. Always keep yourself focused for everybody out there. If you are currently just working your ass off between two, three, four different things, keep fucking going and just keep fucking going. Give yourself some time. Understand that you're a human being. You deserve some rest. But, ladies and gentlemen, there is no better time, there is no better place on earth to get your entrepreneurship on, to do what you want to do and make yourself happy by doing those things. Um, and so that's just really fucking awesome, man. I'm glad that you guys are still, being able to keep the ship together and just keep fucking playing, keep recording, keep communicating. That fucking rocks, dude. Hell yeah.
It's gonna be nonstop, man. I got too much drive for this shit. And
Fuck
like I've
yeah.
even told Corey, I'm like, as long as I'm a part of it, it's not gonna stop. It might cycle members, but as long as me and Corey are working on this project, it's never gonna end.
Fuck yeah. So what's coming up for Despised? What do you guys got going on?
Um, May 11th, we're playing with a fucking band called For Fear Itself and one called Court
Nice.
Order. Court Order's like this metalcore band out, or yeah, For Fear Itself is like a metalcore band out of Baltimore,
Fuck
and
yeah.
I have their first. Sorry about that. I've had their first album for like years, and actually used to jam it pretty regularly, so that's super cool. And then Court Order's like a hardcore punk band, I think, and they're from Washington.
Hell
And
yeah.
then we're trying to put a show together in St. Louis right now with Fleshbore and Greenleaves. We've been
Oh,
having trouble
hell yeah,
locating a
dude.
venue for that, and yeah, dude, I love those guys. I've been
Man, I'm talking to them later on today. You're thinking of Fleshbound, by the way.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Fleshbound and Greenleaves. My bad.
Oh yeah, dude. Fleshbound, man. Fucking love those boys. We're gonna be having them on an episode later on today. It's gonna be a hell of a time. We're gonna also have Gore Pig on. So fucking excited to talk
Dude,
about their most
fuck
recent
yeah,
release.
man. Gorepig
Jesus
is
Christ.
lit.
Bro, I mean, man, I'm excited. That's all I'll say. And just talking about Quincy as a whole, so I've recently been seeing there's a lot of up and coming promoters and a lot of up and coming talent coming out of that area. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's Quincy's weird. So like a lot of it's kind of a hole, like in in a way, because like a lot of the bands that are here, there are always able to like reach out and you'll get like a little bit of a push here and there, but there's just like the glass ceiling is so fucking thick. But and promoters here kind of come and go a lot. But this dude Timmy that's been putting this shit together. I guess he was from Quincy originally and then moved to Texas
Hmm.
and moved back to Quincy for like his kids or whatever. I think that's the way that all went. But he's been busting his ass with getting shows set up, and he's been getting at least one show a month for like the
Yeah, I've
last
been
year.
seeing them. He's fucking. Listen, I want to give a shout out really quickly to a guy who I think is honestly he's doing some really fucking cool shit for Quincy. It's very important. It's very necessary. His name is Timmy Joe Goal. All right, he's a really fucking cool guy. And he's honestly he's one of those folks that you definitely want in your corner when it comes to booking your shows or bringing your bands through Illinois. Um, I definitely I commend him, man. It's not easy,
Oh yeah,
and especially in that area, there's not a
it's
lot of
a
folks that
thankless
want to work
job,
with it.
and it's kind of a thankless job, and he busts his ass harder than like anybody I've ever seen.
Yeah,
We had
yeah.
uh we had this guy named Seth for a while. Seth Fenton. He was played with a few of the local bands, and he was trying to set up shows and stuff like that for a bit. And unfortunately, it did. He kind of burnt himself out on it, which was kind of sad to see. But Jimmy's also trying to reach out to more than just Quincy.
Mm,
Like he's been trying to organize shows in like Hannibal and like around the tri-state area, so it's not just here.
hell yeah.
Because we like locally we see like the same, somewhere between 20 and 30 people,
Mm,
and then like Timmy turned around and threw this fucking banger of a show last July called Midwest Monster Fest, which we're on again this year, and I'm stoked as fuck for it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I've been seeing that
And
around.
dude, we had over 100 people show up. I have never played a show
That
that
rocks.
has been as packed as they made that bar.
That's
And like
awesome, man.
Quincy's a small town. Like we only have like a
Hmm.
population of 30,000 people. And it's mostly old people and like children.
Yeah.
So getting everybody that appreciates metal in Quincy all together in one place is a feat.
Hmm.
And I mean, he's got bands from all over the U.S. there, like Promises Unsaid and like
He's putting
hold
in
on a second,
work,
I've got
man, for
the
sure. For
yeah.
sure. I definitely I commend that guy. And folks, this type of stuff isn't easy. Whenever you see people that are doing shows, 9 times out of 10, it's out of their own pocket. It is a
Yep.
very, very difficult job, and unless they're sponsored up the ass, most folks are not making profit by any means. So go to your local shows, support your venues, support the shows that you do want to see when you do see them, because they will very, very rarely come. Um, and when they do come, you need to be there for them. Um, Now, lastly, Chris, I really wanted to talk about what's in the future for Despised Mourning. So we're writing this album currently. We're recording it. What's going to be up next? Do you have any deadlines in mind?
Um, I'm gonna we're trying to get this EP out as soon as fucking possible because Jesus Christ, I'm like I'm ready to get it out there. I'm kind of irritated that we haven't had it out, honestly.
Hmm.
But we're gonna be shooting another music video pretty soon with my buddy Curtis this time
Oh yeah.
instead of with Cody. Cody did our first one, did an amazing job. But Curtis is trying to kind of pick up and into doing filmography and stuff like that, and and is giving us a really kick-ass opportunity
Hell yeah.
between like yeah. So I don't want to turn around and look a gift horse in the mouth and not take advantage of it.
Fuck yeah, man. Absolutely do that. And
And
with that being said, Chris, is there anything else that you want to tell the listeners?
just keep your eye out on the local music scene, man. Like there's plenty of bands that are gonna fly under the radar if you don't show. And I mean, keep an eye out for us. Despise Morning is kind of awesome, or so I've been told.
Yes, they
Uh,
are.
our
I can attest.
our EP our EP's out on Spotify. You can find us on YouTube. You'll see a lot of Despised Icon. I promise we are not quite that cool. um, but
Fair.
yeah, it's gonna be fun. We've got a lot coming up, and we're gonna keep it rolling as long as possible.
Fuck yeah, man. I'm excited for you guys. Love you guys. Keep kicking ass, man. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the end of Chug Life Podcast, second episode here with our lovely homies over from Despised Mourning, represented by Krystian himself, the vocalist of Despised Mourning. Make sure you catch them on the up and coming festival. It's going to be in Quincy. It's the Midwest Monster Fest. Make sure you are there and support your local scene. And make sure you keep an eye on for the local flyers and everything going about, and go and catch a show. And with that being said, you guys have a great one. Stay safe. Love you all.